Do you know what warriors eat? Not what's trending, not what looks good on social media, but what a heavyweight champion eats when his legacy is on the line. What does discipline look like when the cameras are off and the noise disappears? What kind of structure does a man follow when he's preparing to defeat another elite warrior? What separates champions who rise once from those who remain at the top? And what if the real secret to dominance isn't power or talent, but control? What you're about to hear is not speculation. This is the actual diet board of the heavyweight champion of the world, Oleksandr Usyk. Yes, you heard that correctly. This is the exact diet board Usyk lived by before stepping into the ring and beating Anthony Joshua. And shortly, you'll see exactly what was written on it. It was photographed in 2022 inside a 3-story mansion in Jumeirah, Dubai, by Amit Kainth, a mindset coach and the creator of the YouTube channel Amit Kainth, The Mindset, where discipline, structure, and mental mastery are explored. The original board was written entirely in Italian, not for style, not for branding, but because at the highest level, execution matters more than comfort. For this video, the board has been translated into English so you can clearly understand how a heavyweight champion lived and ate in the final phase before stepping into the ring and defeating Anthony Joshua. The house itself represented luxury, a 3-story mansion, space, privacy, status. But the life inside it was stripped of excess. There was no chaos, no choice, no emotion, just discipline. Written on the whiteboard were 3 structured menus, not options, not variety, systems. Each menu represented a full day of eating, rotated and repeated continuously, not to impress anyone but to remove error, impulse, and uncertainty. The first day began with precision from the moment he woke. Breakfast was measured and exact: 3 eggs, 200 grams of bread, 70 grams of cod liver, 50 grams of parmesan, 50 grams of tuna, 80 to 100 grams of fresh vegetables, 100 grams of fresh berries, 30 grams of almonds. Nothing here was accidental. Protein supported muscle repair and neural function. Fats supported hormones and brain clarity. Carbohydrates provided steady energy. Micronutrients protected immunity and recovery. The goal wasn't enjoyment. The goal was control. Lunch followed the same logic. 170 grams of spaghetti weighed raw, 180 grams of dorado or sea bass, 100 grams of fresh vegetables, 50 grams of olives. Raw weight mattered because precision mattered. Carbohydrates were controlled, not feared. Protein stayed clean and lean. Fats were present, but disciplined. Dinner closed the day lightly. 150 grams of basmati or black rice weighed raw. 150 grams of prawns or octopus. 100 grams of broccoli or asparagus. Nothing heavy. Nothing inflammatory. Recovery was protected because sleep is sacred. The second day looked different on the surface, but the principle never changed. Breakfast became 2 eggs, 130 grams of oats weighed raw, 100 grams of avocado, 30 grams of Brazil nuts, 100 grams of fresh berries, and 80 to 100 grams of vegetables, fewer eggs, more complex carbohydrates. Energy adjusted without instability. Lunch consisted of 150 grams of bulgur, weighed raw, 200 grams of salmon, and 100 grams of salad. Omega-3 fats reduced inflammation. Carbohydrates supported training output. Volume was present, but heaviness was not. Dinner shifted to 140 grams of lentils, beans or peas, weighed raw, 150 grams of prawns or octopus, 100 grams of broccoli or asparagus, and 50 grams of feta cheese. Slow digestion, steady recovery, calm through the night. The third day introduced slightly richer foods, but still under complete control. Breakfast included 3 eggs, 150 grams of bread with 40 grams of butter, 50 grams of caviar, 50 grams of seafood, 80 to 100 grams of salad, 30 grams of cashews, and 100 grams of fresh berries. Even luxury foods were measured. Nothing was indulged. Everything was governed. Lunch returned to simplicity with 150 grams of rice weighed raw, 150 grams of cod or sea bass, 100 grams of salad, and 50 grams of olives. Dinner finished with 130 grams of buckwheat or a similar grain weighed raw, 150 grams of cod, and 100 grams of fresh vegetables. Simple, repeatable, controlled. And repetition was the point. Most people think repetition is boring. Warriors understand repetition is power. Repeating meals stabilizes digestion. Stable digestion improves recovery. Recovery stabilizes the nervous system. When the nervous system is calm, performance becomes sharp. Champions don't experiment close to battle. They eliminate variables. Usyk didn't wake up asking what he felt like eating. The decision had already been made. That is discipline. Discipline is not willpower, it is pre-commitment. Most people rely on motivation, mood, comfort. Champions rely on systems. Food timing was intentional. Morning meals stabilized energy and hormones. Midday meals fueled training output. Evening meals protected recovery and sleep. No emotional eating, no late-night indulgence. Because emotion destabilizes performance. Diet is not just physical, it is psychological. Control appetite and you control impulse. Control impulse and you control fear. Control fear and you control the fight. That is why diet wins fights long before the bell rings. The body listens to routine. Train hard but eat chaotically and the body stays stressed. Eat clean but inconsistently and the nervous system stays alert. Consistency signals safety. Safety allows aggression when it is needed. Usyk's calm under pressure didn't come from confidence alone. It came from order. His body trusted the process. Nothing surprised it. Everything was familiar. That is why discipline creates composure. The whiteboard didn't show indulgence, it showed restraint, and restraint is strength. In a city built on temptation, the heavyweight champion lived simply because excess dulls sharpness. Heavy meals slow reaction time. Sugar destabilizes mood. Inconsistency creates fatigue. Elite boxing is decided in milliseconds. Diet becomes defense. Nutrition becomes strategy. That board was not a diet plan, it was a contract. A contract with the future version of himself that said, I will not trade tomorrow's victory for today's comfort. People see belts, they don't see grams, they see celebration, they don't see repetition, they see confidence, they don't see control. Diet is where discipline becomes visible. You cannot fake consistency in food. You either live it or you don't. Anyone can train hard, occasionally. Anyone can speak about motivation, but eating the same clean meals day after day with no applause, that is warrior behavior. That is why this board matters. Not because it is flashy, but because it is honest. It proves that greatness is built quietly, in kitchens, in routines, in decisions nobody celebrates. Training sharpens the weapon. Diet keeps it reliable. Without discipline, talent collapses under pressure. With discipline, composure becomes natural. That is why Oleksandr Usyk didn't just defeat Anthony Joshua, he outcontrolled him. Body, mind, routine. That alignment began with food. That whiteboard inside that mansion wasn't impressive, but it was lethal, because mastery always looks boring to those who don't understand it. This is Conrad Warriors, channel about mindset, discipline, and the unseen habits that create champions. If this gave you value, don't forget to share, like, and subscribe.